My name is Elena Torres, an executive of Storytime Bravo, and until 3 days ago, I believed I understood the architecture of my own life. I was a woman who prided myself on clarity, on knowing the boundaries between truth and deception. I taught philosophy at the community college. I debated the nature of reality with 19-year-olds who thought they'd discovered nihilism for the first time. I came home to a husband who kissed my forehead and asked about my day. I thought I knew what was real. The letter arrived on a Tuesday afternoon in March, when the world was caught between winter's death and spring's reluctant birth. The mailbox yielded the usual suspects: a water bill, grocery store coupons, a credit card offer. And then, underneath it all, a plain white envelope with no return address. My name was written in careful block letters. Not printed. Handwritten. Something about that felt deliberate, intimate, threatening. Inside was a single sentence on expensive cardstock. Ask your husband about Rosewood Street. No signature. No explanation. No context. I held it for a long time, turning it over in my hands as if the back might reveal something the front concealed. The paper was heavy, quality stock. Whoever sent this had spent money on it. This wasn't a prank. This was a message. Marcus came home at 6:15, exactly as he always did. He worked as a software consultant for a firm downtown, stable, boring, predictable work that paid well and demanded little. He wore khakis and button-downs. He drove a sensible sedan. He was everything safe about my life. "How was your day?" he asked, setting his laptop bag by the door and moving to kiss my cheek. I handed him the letter without saying a word. I watched his face. I watched it so carefully. In my philosophy classes, I taught my students about microexpressions, those involuntary flashes of emotion that betray what we're really feeling. I'd always been good at reading them. Marcus went pale. Not gradually. Instantly. The color drained from his face like water from a sink. His hand, reaching for the paper, began to tremble. Just slightly. Just enough. "What is this?" His voice came out wrong. Too high. Too tight. "I was hoping you'd tell me." He read it. Read it again. Then he tore it into pieces, his movements jerky and violent. "Scammers," he said, but the word caught in his throat. Just some scam. Forget about it." "Marcus." I said, "Forget about it." He'd never raised his voice to me before. Not once in 8 years of marriage. The pieces of the letter fell from his hands like snow. He stared at them on the kitchen floor, breathing hard, and then he looked at me with something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Fear. Raw, animal fear. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm sorry, Elena. Just, please. Forget you ever saw that." He walked upstairs without another word. I heard the bedroom door close. Lock. I stood in the kitchen for a long time, staring at the torn pieces of cardstock scattered across the tile. Then I bent down and carefully gathered every fragment, fitting them together like a puzzle on the counter. Ask your husband about Rosewood Street. That night, I couldn't sleep. Marcus had come down for dinner, apologized again, claimed he was stressed about a project at work. He smiled. He held my hand. He was trying so hard to be normal that every gesture felt like a performance. He fell asleep quickly. Too quickly. The kind of sudden unconsciousness that comes from exhaustion or escape. I lay awake beside him, listening to him breathe, and realized I was about to cross a line I'd never crossed before. At 2:47 a.m., I slipped out of bed and retrieved his phone from the nightstand. The phone screen glowed in the darkness like a portal to another world. I'd never gone through Marcus's phone before. Never felt the need. We trusted each other. Or so I'd thought. I tried his passcode, our anniversary. The phone unlocked immediately. My hands were shaking. I felt like a thief, like a spy, like someone I didn't recognize. But the fear in his eyes kept replaying in my mind. Whatever Rosewood Street meant, it was worth destroying our peace to keep hidden. I opened his messages first. Nothing unusual. Conversations with coworkers about meetings and deadlines. Texts with his brother about their mother's upcoming birthday. A thread with me full of mundane domesticity, grocery lists, love you messages, reminders about dinner plans. Nothing. I checked his email. Work correspondence. Newsletters. Spam. Nothing. Then I opened his notes app. At first, it looked empty. Just a few random entries, a recipe he'd saved, a quote he'd liked, a reminder to change the air filters. But then I noticed something. At the top of the screen, one locked note. My heart started pounding. I tried our anniversary. Access denied. I tried his birthday. Access denied. I tried our dog's name, Baxter. Access denied. I sat there in the darkness, the phone's glow illuminating my face, and tried to think. What would Marcus use? What mattered to him enough to? I typed in the date we first met. The locked note opened instantly. And my entire world tilted on its axis. The note was titled simply, Rosewood. Inside was a list. Dates going back 10 years. Hundreds of entries. Each one cryptic but precise. March 15, 2015, drop off groceries. Don't stay long. April 3, 2015, birthday. Bought the doll she wanted. V said thank you. June 12, 2015, school registration. Used the backup ID. September 8, 2015, emergency. She had a fever. Stayed until midnight. Almost missed work. December 24, 2015, Christmas. Oh, asked why I couldn't stay. Broke my heart. On and on. Years of entries. Some just dates and times. Others with more detail. References to someone named V, someone named O, receipts attached, children's clothes, toys, school supplies, medical bills. And over again, the same address. 4782, Rosewood Street. I scrolled to the most recent entry, dated just 3 days ago. March 10, O's recital. She played beautifully. V looked tired. Asked when I'd tell E, said never. Safer that way. E. That was me. Elena. My vision blurred. My hands were shaking so badly I nearly dropped the phone. I kept scrolling, kept reading, my mind refusing to process what I was seeing. Then I found the note that made everything stop. It was dated 8 years ago, right around the time Marcus and I got married. Keep both lives separate. E can never know. If they find one, maybe the other survives. Both lives. The phone slipped from my hands onto the bed. I sat there in the darkness, listening to Marcus breathe beside me, and realized I was sleeping next to a stranger. I didn't wake him. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, I waited until morning, until he left for work with a kiss and a love you that felt like acid on my skin. I waited until his car disappeared around the corner. Then I got in my own car and drove to Rosewood Street. The address led me to a neighborhood I'd never been to before, on the east side of the city where the houses were smaller, older, worn down by time and neglect. Number 4782 was a small beige house with a chain-link fence and a yard full of dandelions. There was a little girl on the front porch, drawing with chalk. She couldn't have been more than 8 or 9 years old. Dark hair pulled into a ponytail. A purple t-shirt with a unicorn on it. I sat in my car across the street, engine off, just watching. The girl looked up. Our eyes met. And my breath caught in my throat. She had Marcus's eyes. Exactly. The same unusual hazel green color, the same slight upturn at the corners, the same way they caught the light. The front door opened. A woman stepped out, younger than me by maybe 5 years, thin, exhausted looking, with dark circles under her eyes and hair that needed washing. She wore jeans and an oversized sweater. She said something to the little girl, who pointed at my car. The woman's head turned. She saw me. For a moment, we just stared at each other across the distance. Then her face changed. Recognition. Understanding. Fear. She knew who I was. She walked slowly down the porch steps, across the patchy lawn, through the gate. She moved like someone walking to their own execution. I got out of my car. My legs felt unsteady. We met in the middle of the street, 2 women connected by a man neither of us fully knew. You must be Elena, she said quietly. Her voice was hoarse, like she'd been crying. Or screaming. Who are you? My name is Vanessa. She wrapped her arms around herself. And I think we need to talk. The little girl was still on the porch, watching us with those eyes, Marcus's eyes. Who is she? I asked, though I already knew. Somewhere deep down, I already knew. Vanessa's face crumpled. Her name is Olivia. She's 8 years old. And Marcus. Marcus is her father. The world didn't spin. It didn't tilt. It just stopped. Everything stopped. How long? My voice didn't sound like mine. 10 years. We dated before you ever met him. I got pregnant after he left. He didn't know until after you were married. He showed up at my door one day, said he'd found out about her through a friend, said he wanted to help. Help, I repeated numbly. He's been supporting us. Coming by once a week. Birthdays. School events. He pays for everything, groceries, clothes, medical bills, all of it. He's been doing it for 10 years. And you never told me. He said you couldn't know. He said it was safer if you didn't. I didn't understand what he meant, but... She looked back at Olivia, still drawing on the porch. I needed the help. I'm a single mother. I worked 2 jobs. He was good to her. He loved her. Loves her. I couldn't. Does she know? I interrupted. Does she know who he is? She knows him as Uncle Mark. He told her he's a family friend who helps us out. She adores him. Uncle Mark. Another layer of deception. Another carefully constructed lie. I felt like I was drowning in open air. Why are you telling me this now? I asked. Why didn't you just keep lying? Vanessa's expression changed. Fear flickered across her face again. Because someone sent you that letter. And it wasn't me. My blood ran cold. What? Marcus told me about it. He called me in a panic yesterday, said someone was trying to expose him, expose us. He said we all needed to be careful. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Elena, there are things about Rosewood Street you don't know. Things I didn't even know until recently. Marcus isn't who either of us thinks he is. Then who is he? She glanced around nervously, as if expecting someone to be watching. Not here. Inside. There's something I need to show you. Every instinct told me to run. To get back in my car and drive away from this nightmare. But instead, I followed Vanessa through the gate, across the lawn, up the porch steps. Olivia looked up at me as we passed. Are you a friend of Uncle Mark's? I couldn't speak. I just nodded. He's nice, she said simply, then went back to her chalk drawing, a house with stick figures holding hands. A family. Inside, the house was small and cluttered but clean. Toys in baskets. Dishes drying on the rack. Photos on the walls, Olivia at various ages, always smiling. And in several of them, partially cropped out or standing at the edge of the frame, was Marcus. Hidden in plain sight. Vanessa led me down a narrow hallway to a door at the end. It was locked. She produced a key from her pocket. Marcus gave me this a few months ago, she said. Told me to keep this room locked at all times. Told me never to go in here unless it was an emergency. And you listened? I was scared not to. You don't know Marcus when he's scared. He becomes someone else. She turned the key. But yesterday, after he told me about the letter, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I went in. She opened the door. The room was small, windowless, painted white. Almost empty except for a desk in the center, a filing cabinet against the wall, and a rug covering most of the floor. What is this? I asked. Vanessa didn't answer. She walked to the rug and pulled it aside. Underneath was a trapdoor. My heart started pounding. Vanessa, what? Just look. Her voice shook. You need to see what's down there. She opened the trapdoor. A ladder descended into darkness. A cold draft rose from below, carrying the smell of earth and concrete. Vanessa climbed down first. I hesitated at the top, staring into that dark hole, every survival instinct screaming at me to run. But I climbed down anyway. The basement was small, dim, lit by a single bare bulb hanging from the ceiling. It was cold down there, cold and damp. The walls were concrete. Unfinished. There was a desk against one wall, covered in folders and papers. A corkboard on the wall above it, covered in photos and documents connected by red string like something from a crime show. What is this place? I whispered. I don't know, Vanessa said. But look at the folders. I moved to the desk. The folders were labeled with names. Some I didn't recognize. Some I did, Marcus's coworkers, his brother, his mother. And one with my name. Elena Torres. My hand shook as I opened it. Inside were photos of me. Dozens of them. Leaving my house. Walking to my car. At the grocery store. At work. Talking to colleagues. Having lunch with friends. Some were recent. Some were from years ago. There were notes. Pages and pages of notes documenting my daily routine. Where I went. Who I talked to. What time I left for work. What time I came home. My habits. My patterns. Everything. One page was titled, Risk Assessment. It listed potential vulnerabilities. People I was close to. Places I went regularly. Times when I was alone. I felt sick. Why? I couldn't finish the question. Vanessa was standing by the corkboard, staring at the photos pinned there. Elena, there's something else. She pointed to a photo in the center of the board. It showed Marcus, but younger, different. His hair was darker, longer. He wore an expensive suit. He was standing next to an older man with cold eyes and a cruel smile, both of them in front of a massive estate. Below the photo was a caption written in red marker. Marcus Cole, formerly Daniel Reyes. Disappeared 2014. Location, unknown. Daniel Reyes, I repeated. The name meant nothing to me. Vanessa pulled down a newspaper clipping pinned next to the photo. The headline read, Reyes family heir vanishes amid scandal. I took the clipping with trembling hands and read. The article was from 11 years ago. It described the disappearance of Daniel Reyes, sole heir to the Reyes fortune, one of the wealthiest and most powerful families in the country. He'd vanished without a trace just days after testifying in a closed-door federal investigation into his family's business dealings. There was speculation about witness protection, about murder, about escape. No body was ever found. The case went cold. Your husband, Vanessa said quietly, isn't Marcus Cole. He's Daniel Reyes. And the family he ran from, they've been looking for him for over a decade. I looked up at her, the clipping still in my hands. How do you know this? Her face went pale. Because I'm the one who found him. The basement seemed to tilt. What? Elena, I need to tell you something. And you're not going to like it. She took a shaky breath. I'm not just Olivia's mother. I'm not just Marcus's ex. I was a private investigator. The words hung in the cold air. 10 years ago, I was hired by a firm that works for wealthy clients. Very wealthy. Very powerful. They gave me an assignment, find Daniel Reyes. They gave me everything, old photos, known associates, last known locations, behavioral patterns. They told me he'd changed his name, changed his appearance, changed his entire identity. They told me to find him, document everything about his new life, and report back. And did you? I found him. It took me 6 months, but I found him. He was calling himself Marcus Cole. He had a job, an apartment, a simple life. He thought he was safe. She looked at me. I was supposed to turn him in immediately. But I didn't. Why not? Because I fell in love with him. The confession hung between us. We started dating. He had no idea who I really was, what I was really doing. I told myself I'd just get close enough to confirm his identity, then I'd walk away. But weeks became months. And then I got pregnant. She wrapped her arms around herself. When he found out, he panicked. Said he couldn't be a father, couldn't have that kind of connection, it was too dangerous. He left. Disappeared overnight. I thought I'd never see him again. But you did. 2 years later, he showed up at my door. Said he'd heard about Olivia through a mutual friend. Said he wanted to help. By then, he'd met you, married you, built a whole new life. And I kept his secret. I never turned in the report. I never told anyone I'd found him. Why? Because I loved him. And because I was scared. The people who hired me, they're not the kind of people you cross and survive. I felt like I was drowning. So all of this, the secret family, the hidden room, the surveillance. He's been preparing, Vanessa said. For the day they'd find him. He's been documenting everything, monitoring everyone close to him, looking for signs that his cover was blown. The room upstairs, this basement, it's all part of his contingency plan. And the letter I received? It wasn't from me. Which means someone else knows. Someone else found him. She looked genuinely terrified. Elena, the Reyes family, they're not just wealthy. They're connected to things that normal people don't even know exist. Criminal operations. Political corruption. Marcus witnessed something years ago, something that could destroy them. That's why he ran. That's why he's been hiding. What did he witness? He's never told me. But whatever it was bad enough that he gave up everything, his name, his family, his entire identity, just to stay alive. Above us, something creaked. We both froze. Footsteps. Heavy. Moving through the house. Vanessa's eyes went wide with terror. Someone's here. We stood perfectly still, barely breathing. The footsteps moved slowly, deliberately, through the house. Searching. Then they stopped. Right above us. A voice called out, muffled but audible, "Vanessa? I know you're here. Your car's outside." It wasn't Marcus's voice. Vanessa grabbed my arm, her fingers digging in hard. She shook her head frantically, pointing to the ladder, mouthing, "Don't move." The footsteps resumed. Moving toward the hallway. Toward the locked room. The doorknob rattled. Once. Twice. Then, a loud crack. The sound of wood splintering. Someone had kicked the door open. More footsteps. Inside the room now. Vanessa pulled me away from the ladder, toward the far corner of the basement. We huddled there in the shadows as the trapdoor above us creaked open. A flashlight beam cut through the darkness. A figure descended the ladder, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing dark clothes. Not Marcus. The man swept the flashlight around the basement. The beam passed over the desk, the files, the corkboard. Then it found us. We were caught in the light like animals. The man smiled. "Well, well. Mrs. Cole. And Vanessa Miller. Or should I say, former investigator for Blackwood Associates. This is quite the reunion." He stepped toward us. The flashlight beam dropped, and I could finally see his face. Angular. Cold. Scarred across the left cheek. "Who are you?" My voice came out stronger than I felt. "My name is Victor Reyes. And I'm here to bring my nephew home. Marcus's uncle." "He's not here," Vanessa said, her voice shaking. "I know. But you two are. And that's almost as good." Victor pulled something from his jacket. A gun. Small. Black. Pointed at us. "Daniel has been very clever, hiding for so long. But everyone makes mistakes eventually." "That letter your wife received?" "That was us. We've known where he was for months. We've been watching. Waiting. Gathering evidence." "Why wait?" I asked. "Because Daniel is smart. He has insurance policies. Documents hidden somewhere, probably with instructions to release them if anything happens to him. We needed to find those first. Or." He smiled again. "We needed to find leverage." He gestured with the gun toward the ladder. "Both of you. Up. Now." We climbed up in silence, Victor right behind us. Upstairs, I could see Olivia was gone, the porch was empty, her chalk drawing abandoned. "Where's my daughter?" Vanessa demanded. "Safe. For now. As long as you both cooperate." Victor produced zip ties from his pocket. "Hands behind your back." As he bound my wrists, I heard a car pull up outside. Doors opening. More footsteps. 3 more men entered the house, all dressed in dark suits, all wearing the same expression of cold professionalism. "Search everything," Victor ordered. "Every drawer, every closet, every inch of this place. Find those documents." One of the men approached with a phone. "Sir, we have a problem." Victor took the phone, read something on the screen, and his expression darkened. "He knows we're here. He's on his way." My heart leaped. Marcus was coming. Victor looked at me. "Your husband is very protective. Especially of you. That's his weakness." He pocketed the phone. "Get them into the van. We're leaving." "Wait," Vanessa started. Victor backhanded her across the face. She fell hard, blood streaming from her lip. I tried to move toward her, but one of the men grabbed me, his grip like iron. "No more talking," Victor said calmly. You both have a choice. Cooperate, and maybe you survive this. Fight, and I'll put bullets in both of you right now and leave your bodies for Daniel to find. What's it going to be? Vanessa nodded, tears streaming down her face. They dragged us outside. A black van was parked at the curb, rear doors open. They pushed us inside, onto the cold metal floor. The doors slammed shut, plunging us into darkness. The van started moving. I could hear Vanessa crying beside me. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of everything, trying to find a way out. Then I remembered, my phone. It was in my back pocket. With my hands bound behind me, I managed to work my fingers into my pocket. The phone was there. I could feel it. Slowly, painfully, I maneuvered it out, nearly dropping it twice. The screen lit up in the darkness. 17 missed calls from Marcus. And a text message sent 3 minutes ago. I know they have you. I'm coming. Don't trust anything they tell you. Everything I did was to protect you. I love you. I'm sorry. Vanessa saw the screen light. Can you call him? My hands are tied. Use your voice. Siri. Whatever you have. I did. Call Marcus. The phone rang once. Twice. Then, Elena. Elena, are you okay? His voice. Strained. Desperate. Alive. Before we continue, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story from Storytime Bravo. They have us, I whispered. Victor Reyes and his men. We're in a van. I don't know where they're taking us. I know. I'm tracking your phone. A pause. Elena, listen to me carefully. Everything they tell you is a lie. Everything they show you is designed to make you hate me, to make you trust them. Don't believe them. Marcus, what's happening? Who are you? I'm the same person I've always been. I used to have a different name. A different life. And that life wants me dead. Why? Because I know what they did. I saw it happen. And if I ever come forward, I can destroy them. That's why they've been hunting me. That's why I had to disappear. What did you see? Silence. Then, I watched my father murder a federal judge. Right in front of me. In our own home. And then he looked at me and said, "You're one of us now, Daniel. This is what we do." The horror in his voice was real. Raw. I was 23 years old, he continued. I'd just found out about the family business, the real business. Money laundering, political bribes, contracts on people who got in the way. I wanted out. I was going to testify. But then that judge died, and I realized they'd kill anyone. Even me. Especially me, if I talked. So you ran. I faked my own death. Changed everything about myself. Became Marcus Cole. And for 11 years, I was safe. I had a normal life. I had you. His voice cracked. And then I found out about Olivia, and I knew I had to help her, but I couldn't risk connecting her to you. If they found one of you, I thought maybe the other would survive. That's why you kept us separate. Yes. I documented everything, every person in my life, every routine, every vulnerability. So if they ever came for me, I'd know how they'd do it. I'd be ready. A bitter laugh. But I wasn't ready enough. The van turned sharply. I nearly dropped the phone. Marcus, where are they taking us? To the Reyes estate. Outside the city. That's where Victor is based. Elena, I need you to listen. When you get there, they're going to try to break you. They're going to tell you I'm dangerous, that I'm using you. They might even offer you money, protection, a way out. Don't take it. Whatever they promise, it's a trap. How do you know? Because that's what they did to my mother. 20 years ago, she tried to leave my father. They offered her everything, money, a new identity, safety for me. All she had to do was sign some papers, give them full custody of me. She did. And they killed her anyway. Made it look like a car accident. My blood ran cold. Marcus. I'm not going to let that happen to you. To any of you. I'm coming, Elena. I have a plan. But I need you to stay alive long enough for me to execute it. What plan? Those documents Victor wants? I have them. Every crime my family ever committed, documented and verified. Bank records. Recordings. Photos. Everything. It's all in a secure location, set to be released to the FBI and every major news outlet if I don't check in every 48 hours. That's your insurance. Yes. But Victor knows that. He's not going to kill me. He's going to try to break me. And he's going to use you to do it. The van slowed. Stopped. Marcus, I think we're here. Elena, I need you to be strong. Whatever they do, whatever they show you, remember, I love you. Everything I did, every lie I told, it was to keep you alive. That's the only truth that matters. Marcus. The van doors opened. Hands grabbed me, pulling me out. The phone slipped from my grip, clattering onto the metal floor. No. I tried to reach back for it, but they held me fast. I was standing in front of a massive estate, 3 stories, stone and glass, surrounded by manicured grounds and high walls. Guard towers at the corners. Security cameras everywhere. A fortress. Victor stood at the entrance, smiling. Welcome to the family home, Elena. I hope you'll find your stay enlightening. They dragged us inside. The interior was obscenely luxurious, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, art that probably cost more than my house. But it all felt cold, sterile, like a museum of wealth rather than a home. Victor led us down a long hallway to a sitting room. Elegant furniture. A fireplace. Windows overlooking the grounds. They cut our zip ties and pushed us onto a couch. Armed guards stationed themselves at every exit. Victor sat across from us, crossing his legs casually. Now. Let's have a civilized conversation. Where's my daughter? Vanessa demanded immediately. Safe. I told you. She's with some associates of mine, being looked after. She's not hurt. Yet. If you touch her. You'll what? You're not in a position to make threats, Ms. Miller. He turned to me. Elena. May I call you Elena? I didn't respond. I want you to understand something. You are not our enemy. You're a victim. My nephew has used you, manipulated you, put you in danger, all to serve his own cowardice. That's not true. Isn't it? He lied to you for years. He built an entire secret family behind your back. He's been preparing for war, and he put you on the front line without your knowledge or consent. Victor leaned forward. You deserve better than that. And you're going to give it to me? I'm going to give you the truth. Then you can decide what you want to do with it. He gestured to one of the guards, who brought over a tablet and handed it to him. Tell me, Elena. What has Marcus told you about his family? About why he left? He said he witnessed a murder. That he was going to testify. And you believed him? Why wouldn't I? Victor tapped the tablet, then turned it to face me. On the screen was a video, grainy, dated, surveillance footage. This is from the night Daniel claims my brother murdered a federal judge. Watch carefully. The video showed an elegant office. A man behind a desk, older, distinguished, with Marcus's eyes. Marcus's father. Then the door opened. A young man entered. Even grainy and years ago, I recognized him. Marcus. Or Daniel. Younger but unmistakable. They talked. I couldn't hear the audio. Then young Marcus pulled something from his jacket. A gun. He pointed it at his father. And pulled the trigger. The older man slumped over the desk. Dead. Young Marcus stood there for a moment, staring at what he'd done. Then he calmly wiped down the gun, placed it in his father's hand, and walked out. The video ended. I felt like I couldn't breathe. That's not. I started. That's not possible. It's surveillance footage from my brother's personal office. Timestamped. Verified by 3 independent forensic analysts. Victor set the tablet down. Daniel didn't witness a murder, Elena. He committed one. He killed our brother, his own father, in cold blood. Then he fabricated this story about testifying, disappeared, and has been hiding ever since. No. Marcus wouldn't. Wouldn't he? You've seen his files. His surveillance. His paranoia. Does that sound like an innocent man to you? Or does it sound like someone who knows what he is and what he's capable of? Vanessa was shaking beside me. He said he was protecting us. He was protecting himself. You were his cover story. Both of you. Proof of his new identity. Human shields. Victor stood. I don't blame you for caring about him. He's very good at making people care. But the Daniel Reyes I know, the real Daniel, is capable of things that would make you sick. Then why not just turn him in to the police? Because it's not that simple. My family has enemies. Our business dealings, legitimate and otherwise, have made us targets. If Daniel's lies become public, if people believe he witnessed crimes instead of committing them, it could destroy everything we've built. It could destroy innocent people who depend on us. Innocent? I laughed bitterly. You're holding us hostage. I'm protecting you. From him. Victor moved toward the window. Elena, I'm going to make you an offer. Help me bring Daniel home. Help me convince him to return, to face what he's done, to make things right. Do that, and you're free. You and Vanessa and her daughter. New identities if you want them. Money. Protection. Whatever you need. And if I refuse? He turned back to me. His smile was gone. Then you'll stay here. Comfortable. Well-fed. Alive. But you'll stay. Forever. Because I can't risk you running to Daniel and telling him what you know. A gilded cage. How much time do I have to decide? None. The decision is now. I looked at Vanessa. She was crying silently, thinking about Olivia. I thought about Marcus. About his voice on the phone. About 8 years of marriage. About the man I thought I knew. About the video I just watched. I need proof, I said. More proof. That video could be faked. Victor's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Interest. You're smarter than I gave you credit for. Fine. Come with me. He led us out of the sitting room, down another hallway, to a door marked private. Inside was an office, books lining the walls, a massive desk, filing cabinets. Victor opened one of the cabinets and removed a thick folder. He set it on the desk. This is Daniel's file. Everything we know about his life before he disappeared. And after he opened it. Look. I stepped forward, Vanessa beside me. The file was extensive. Photos of young Marcus, Daniel, at various ages. Family photos. School records. Medical records. And then, as he got older, darker things. Police reports. Sealed juvenile records that someone had unsealed. Reports of violence, manipulation, psychological cruelty. One report detailed an incident when Daniel was 16. He'd been accused of pushing another student down a flight of stairs. The student had suffered a severe concussion and broken ribs. Daniel claimed it was an accident. The charges were dropped after the student's family received a large settlement. Another report, from when he was 20. A girlfriend had filed a restraining order. The report included photos of bruises on her arms and neck. Daniel denied everything. The case was dismissed after she suddenly recanted her statement and moved out of state. Page after page of incidents. Some proven. Some alleged. All disturbing. This is who he is, Victor said quietly. This is who he's always been. My brother tried to help him. Tried to get him therapy, treatment. But Daniel is broken. He lacks something fundamental. Empathy. Conscience. Whatever you want to call it. I couldn't stop staring at the photos. At the reports. The night he killed my brother, Victor continued, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't self-defense. My brother had just told Daniel he was cutting him off financially until he got help. Daniel responded by murdering him. And then he lied about everything to avoid consequences. That's who you married, Elena. A killer. A sociopath. My hands were shaking. The file was overwhelming. Too much information. Too many pieces that fit together into a picture I didn't want to see. I don't. My voice broke. I don't know what's real anymore. I understand. It's a lot to process. Victor's voice softened. But here's what I know is real, you're in danger. As long as you're connected to Daniel, you're a target. If not for us, then for the people he's crossed. The documents he claims to have? They're not just about our family. They implicate dozens of people, powerful people who won't hesitate to eliminate anyone who threatens them. Including me. Including you. The only way you survive this is if you help us end it. Help us bring Daniel in. Let us handle him quietly, as a family matter. No police. No publicity. No danger to you. I looked at Vanessa. She was staring at the file, tears streaming down her face. What about Olivia? She whispered. Safe. I promise you. Help us, and you'll have her back within the hour. The room was silent except for the ticking of a clock on the wall. I thought about everything I'd learned. The secret life. The surveillance. The lies. The video. The file. I thought about Marcus's voice on the phone, everything they tell you is a lie. But what if he was the lie? If I help you, I said slowly, how do I know you'll keep your word? You don't. You have to trust me. Victor met my eyes. I know that's asking a lot. But you're out of options, Elena. This is the only way forward. Before I could respond, one of the guards burst into the office. Sir, we have a situation. He's here. Victor's expression hardened. What? Daniel Cole. He's at the front gate. Armed. He's demanding to see his wife. Everything stopped. Victor moved quickly, pulling a gun from his desk drawer. How many men does he have? He's alone, sir. Alone? Victor's eyes narrowed. That's not like him. He's planning something. He looked at me. Get them both to the basement. Lock them in. Don't let them out until I say so. Wait, I started. But the guards were already pulling us toward the door. We were dragged back through the hallways, down a set of stairs, into a cold concrete basement. They pushed us into a small room, empty except for 2 chairs and a table. The door slammed shut. A lock clicked. Vanessa and I stood there in the darkness, the only light coming from a small barred window near the ceiling. Do you believe him? Vanessa asked quietly. Victor. Do you believe what he showed us? I didn't answer right away. I was thinking about Marcus. About 8 years of marriage. About the way he looked at me. The way he held me. The way he said my name. I don't know, I finally said. But I know I need to hear his side before I make any decisions. Above us, I could hear shouting. Running footsteps. Something that sounded like gunfire. Marcus was here. And whatever happened next would determine if any of us survived. The sounds of chaos above us intensified. More gunfire. Glass shattering. Screams. Vanessa grabbed my arm. What's happening? I don't know. Then, silence. Sudden and complete. Footsteps on the stairs. Slow. Deliberate. Coming down. The lock clicked. The door opened. Marcus stood there, backlit by the hallway light, holding a gun. His clothes were torn. Blood on his face, his or someone else's, I couldn't tell. Elena. His voice was hoarse. Desperate. We need to go. Now. Marcus. I couldn't move. Couldn't think. He stepped into the room, holstering the gun. I know Victor showed you things. Told you things. I know what you must think of me. But please, Elena. Trust me one more time. Just long enough to get out of here. Did you kill your father? The question came out before I could stop it. He froze. What? I saw the video. From his office. I saw you shoot him. His face went pale. That video, it's not what it looks like. Then what is it? A fabrication. An incredibly well-made fake. Elena, I swear to you, I never killed my father. He's not even dead. He's been living in Europe for the past 10 years, hiding from the same people who want me dead. Victor said. Victor is a liar. Everything he showed you, everything he said, it's all designed to make you doubt me. To turn you against me. He moved closer. Elena, I know I've lied to you. I know I've kept secrets. But I have never hurt anyone. Everything I did was to protect you. Prove it. I will. But not here. Please. We have to leave. Victor has more men coming. If we don't go now, we're all dead. Vanessa stepped forward. Where's Olivia? Safe. I sent people to get her. She's being taken somewhere secure. You'll see her soon, I promise. People? What people? People I trust. People who owe me favors. People who hate the Reyes family as much as I do. He looked between us. I know you have no reason to trust me. But you have even less reason to trust them. Please. Let me prove I'm telling the truth. Let me show you what they really are. The decision hung in the air. Every instinct told me to run. From Marcus. From Victor. From all of it. But Vanessa made the choice for both of us. If you're lying about Olivia, I'll kill you myself. Fair enough. We followed him out of the room, up the stairs. The hallway above was chaos, overturned furniture, broken glass, bullet holes in the walls. Bodies. 3 men in suits, not moving. I looked away. Marcus led us through the carnage, toward a side exit. Outside, a car was waiting, engine running, driver ready. "Get in," Marcus ordered. We did. The car took off before the doors were even fully closed, tires screaming on the gravel drive. I looked back at the estate, receding into the distance. Guards were pouring out of the building, but we were already too far ahead. "Where are we going?" I asked. "Somewhere safe. Somewhere they can't follow." Marcus pulled out his phone, sent a quick text. "And then I'm going to show you everything. The real story. Not Victor's version. Mine." The driver, a woman in her 40s with short gray hair and sharp eyes, glanced in the rearview mirror. "Marcus, we've got 3 vehicles in pursuit. Black SUVs. Lose them. Working on it." The car accelerated, weaving through traffic. Behind us, the SUVs were gaining. Marcus rolled down his window, leaned out, and fired 3 shots. One of the SUVs swerved, crashing into a parked car. The other 2 kept coming. "Hold on," the driver said, and yanked the wheel hard to the right. We careened down a narrow alley, barely wide enough for the car. The SUVs couldn't follow, too wide. We emerged onto another street. The driver made several more quick turns, doubling back, taking side streets, until finally the SUVs were gone. "Nice driving, Rachel," Marcus said. "It's what you pay me for." Rachel glanced at me in the mirror. "You must be Elena. I've heard a lot about you." "Can't say the same." "Fair." We drove for another 20 minutes, heading out of the city, into the countryside. Eventually, we turned down a dirt road that led to an abandoned farmhouse. Rachel parked behind the house, out of sight from the road. "This is it?" Vanessa asked. "For now," Marcus said. "It's not much, but it's off the grid. They won't find us here." Inside, the farmhouse was dusty but functional. Old furniture. A working kitchen. Power from a generator. Marcus led us to the main room and gestured for us to sit. Then he pulled out a laptop from a bag Rachel brought in. "What I'm about to show you," he said, "is everything. The real story. But I need you to understand, once you see this, you're in deeper than you already are. There's no going back." "Just show us," I said. He opened the laptop, typed in a password, and pulled up a series of files. Videos. Photos. Documents. "This is the Reyes family archive," he explained. "Everything I've collected over the past decade. Everything they don't want the world to see." He played the first video. It showed a meeting, a conference room filled with men in expensive suits. One of them was Marcus's father. Another was Victor. Others I didn't recognize. They were discussing a contract. But not a normal one. A contract on a person's life. A senator who was pushing for tighter financial regulations. The conversation was casual. Clinical. They discussed methods, timelines, payment. Like they were planning a business merger, not a murder. The video ended. "That's from 7 years ago," Marcus said. "The senator died 3 weeks later in a car accident. Brake failure. The investigation ruled it mechanical error. It wasn't." He played another video. And another. Each one worse than the last. Bribes. Blackmail. Extortion. Violence. Not just business dealings. Systematic, organized crime on a massive scale. "This is what I found out about when I turned 23, Marcus said. "I'd been kept away from the real business my whole life. My father wanted me to have a normal childhood, a normal education. But eventually, he needed to bring me in. Show me how things really worked. Prepare me to take over. And you refused, I said. Yes. But refusing wasn't enough. They couldn't let me walk away knowing what I knew. So they gave me a choice: join them or disappear permanently. So you chose to disappear. I staged my own death. Faked records. Changed my appearance. Became Marcus Cole. And I've been running ever since. He looked at me. I never killed anyone, Elena. The video Victor showed you, it's a fake. A very good one, but a fake. They created it years ago as insurance, in case I ever tried to come forward. How do I know you're not lying? Because I have proof. He pulled up another file. A forensic analysis of the video Victor had shown me. I had this examined by experts. It's been digitally altered. The timestamp is real, but everything else, the footage, the audio, it's been manipulated. He showed me the analysis. Frame-by-frame breakdown. Artifacts. Inconsistencies. Signs of editing. It looked legitimate. But so had Victor's video. Marcus, I said carefully, I want to believe you. But I'm drowning in lies right now. Yours. Victor's. I don't know what's real anymore. He closed the laptop. Then let me give you something real. Something that can't be faked or manipulated. What? My father. The man Victor claims I killed. He pulled out his phone and dialed a number. Put it on speaker. It rang 3 times. Then a voice answered, older, tired, but alive. Daniel? Marcus's eyes filled with tears. Hi, Dad. Are you safe? Victor's people have been looking for you. I know. I'm with Elena. And Vanessa. We're safe for now. Elena. The voice on the phone softened. I've wanted to meet you for so long. My son has told me so much about you. I couldn't speak. My mind was reeling. Dad, I need you to tell Elena the truth. About what happened 10 years ago. About why I had to run. A long sigh. I wish I could have prevented all of this. But yes. I'll tell her. And he did. Everything. How the family business had grown darker over the years. How Victor had taken over the worst aspects of it. How Marcus had found out and wanted to expose it all. I begged him not to, the older man said. I knew what Victor would do. So I helped Daniel disappear. I faked my own death a few months later and went into hiding myself. We've been protecting each other ever since. Father and son, both hiding from the monster my own brother became. Why not just go to the police? I asked. Because Victor has people everywhere. Police. Judges. Politicians. The few times someone has tried to expose him, they've disappeared. Or worse. A pause. Daniel has been gathering evidence for years, waiting for the right moment. Waiting until he had enough to bring down not just Victor, but the entire network. That's why Victor wants him so badly. Daniel is the only real threat to his empire. The call ended. I sat there in silence, trying to process everything. I know it's a lot, Marcus said softly. I know I'm asking you to trust me after breaking your trust so many times. But Elena. I love you. That's the one thing I've never lied about. Everything else, the name, the past, the secrets, those were lies to protect you. But my love for you? That's the only truth I've ever really had. I looked at him. Really looked at him. At the man I'd married. The man I thought I knew. The man who might still be lying to me. I need time, I said. I need time to think. We don't have time. Victor knows where we are by now. Or he will soon. We need to make a decision. We? I cut him off. No. I need to make a decision. About whether I'm staying with you or walking away from all of this. Elena. I'm serious, Marcus. Or Daniel. Whoever you are. I need space. I need time. And you need to give me that. He looked like I'd struck him. But he nodded. Okay. Okay. I'll give you time. But please, do it here. Where you're safe. Don't go back out there alone. Vanessa, who'd been silent through all of this, finally spoke. What about Olivia? You said she was safe. Where is she? Being brought here. She'll arrive within the hour. She better be. Because if anything has happened to her. Vanessa didn't finish the threat. She didn't need to. Marcus stood. I'll give you both some space. Rachel will be outside if you need anything. Food, water, whatever. I'll be. He gestured vaguely. I'll be nearby. He left. Vanessa and I sat in silence for a long moment. Do you believe him? She finally asked. I don't know. Because I want to. God, I want to so badly. But I've spent 10 years watching him lie. Watching him maintain 2 separate lives. He's good at it, Elena. Really good. I know. What if it's all true? What if Victor is the monster and Marcus has been protecting us all along? Then we owe him our lives. And what if it's not? What if Marcus is the monster and we just helped him escape? I didn't have an answer to that. We waited. An hour passed. Then another. Finally, headlights appeared on the road outside. A car pulled up. Doors opened. Vanessa ran to the window. Oh my God. Olivia. She ran outside. I followed. A woman was getting out of the car with a little girl, Olivia, safe and unharmed. The moment Vanessa saw her, she collapsed to her knees, sobbing. Olivia ran to her. Mommy. Why are you crying? I'm just happy to see you, baby. So happy. They held each other, and I felt something crack inside my chest. Marcus appeared beside me, watching them. I meant what I said. About protecting you all. About loving you. I know. So what now? I watched Vanessa and Olivia, this small family that had been kept in shadows for so long. I thought about Victor's offer. About freedom and safety. I thought about Marcus's evidence. About his father's voice on the phone. I thought about 8 years of marriage. About the man who'd held me through nightmares and made me laugh and kissed me goodbye every morning. Now, I said slowly, you show me everything. Every piece of evidence. Every document. Every file. And then we make a plan. A plan? To end this. Once and for all. Because I'm tired of running. I'm tired of hiding. And if Victor Reyes is really the monster you say he is, then he needs to be stopped. Marcus looked at me with something like hope. You believe me? I believe that I need to see more proof. That I need to verify everything you've shown me. But I also believe that you're scared. And people don't usually fake that level of fear. I turned to face him. So show me. Show me everything. And if it's real, if you're really the person you claim to be, then I'll help you fight back. And if I'm not? Then I'll make sure you never hurt anyone again. The threat hung in the air between us. Then Marcus smiled, sad, exhausted, but genuine. Fair enough. Come inside. We have a lot of work to do. We went back into the farmhouse. Vanessa brought Olivia inside, got her settled with some food and a makeshift bed in one of the back rooms. Then Marcus opened his laptop again. And for the next 6 hours, he showed me everything. Every document. Every video. Every piece of evidence he'd collected over the past decade. Financial records showing money laundering on a massive scale. Audio recordings of illegal dealings. Photographs of meetings between Reyes family members and known criminals. Testimony from people who'd been hurt by them, some dead now, their statements recorded before they disappeared. It was overwhelming. Damning. Real. I made him stop at random points, had him show me metadata, verification, sources. He did, patiently, thoroughly. Either he was telling the truth, or this was the most elaborate deception I'd ever seen. This is enough to bring down Victor, I said finally. This is enough to destroy his entire operation. Why haven't you released it? Because it's not just Victor. Look at this. He showed me a document, a list of names. Politicians. Judges. Police chiefs. Business leaders. All connected to the Reyes family. If I release this without protection, without a proper plan, these people will make sure it gets buried. Or they'll kill me before it can make a difference. I need to do this right. I need to coordinate with the right people in law enforcement, people who aren't compromised. I need to make sure the evidence reaches the right hands at the right time. So what's your plan? I've been working with a federal prosecutor. One of the few who Victor doesn't own. Her name is Catherine Morrison. She's been building a case against the family for years, but she's never had enough evidence to prosecute. What I have could change that. So why haven't you given it to her? Because I need immunity first. For myself. For you. For Vanessa and Olivia. We've all done things, hiding, running, not reporting crimes we knew about, that could be used against us. I need to make sure we're protected before I hand over everything. It made sense. Terrifying, complicated sense. Okay, I said. So we get immunity. We give the evidence to this prosecutor. And then what? Then we wait. And hope that the system works. That justice actually means something. And if it doesn't? He met my eyes. Then we run. Again. Forever this time. The thought made me sick. But looking at Marcus, at this man who'd lived in fear for a decade, who'd torn apart his own life to survive, who'd kept me and Vanessa and Olivia at a careful distance to protect us, I realized something. I believed him. Maybe I was a fool. Maybe I was being manipulated. But looking into his eyes, I believed him. Okay, I said. Call your prosecutor. Set up a meeting. Let's end this. Marcus's expression flooded with relief. Thank you. Elena, thank you. Don't thank me yet. We still have to survive whatever Victor throws at us next. I know. But at least now I'm not facing it alone. He pulled out his phone and made the call. Catherine Morrison agreed to meet us in 2 days at a secure location. She'd bring immunity paperwork. We'd bring the evidence. 2 days. We spent them in the farmhouse, preparing. Going through every document. Making copies. Securing backups. Planning for every contingency. Vanessa kept Olivia entertained, kept her distracted from the tension that filled every room. The little girl didn't fully understand what was happening, just knew that something important was going on. Rachel stood guard, watching the perimeter, making sure Victor's people didn't find us. And Marcus and I, we talked. Really talked, for the first time in our marriage. About his past. About his family. About the weight of carrying so many secrets. About my anger. My hurt. My feeling of betrayal. About whether trust could be rebuilt after so many lies. I don't know if we can go back to what we were, I told him on the second night, sitting together in the darkness. I know, he said quietly. Maybe we can't. Maybe we shouldn't. What we were was built on a foundation of lies. So what do we build instead? Something real. Something honest. He took my hand. If you'll still have me after all this is over. I didn't answer. I couldn't promise something I wasn't sure about. But I didn't pull my hand away either. The morning of the meeting, we all climbed into Rachel's car. The location was a federal building downtown, public enough to be safe, secure enough to be private. Catherine Morrison met us in a conference room on the third floor. She was in her 50s, sharply dressed, with eyes that missed nothing. Mr. Cole. Or should I say, Mr. Reyes? Marcus is fine. Marcus. She gestured for us all to sit. I'm going to be honest with you. When you first reached out to me 3 years ago, I thought you were either paranoid or delusional. The things you claimed about your family seemed too extreme, too organized. But I looked into it. And the more I found, the more I realized you were telling the truth. So you believe me? I believe your family is a criminal enterprise that's been operating with impunity for decades. What I need from you is proof. Hard evidence that can withstand scrutiny in court. Marcus slid a USB drive across the table. Everything's on here. Financial records. Audio recordings. Video documentation. Testimony. Forensic analysis. It's all verified and sourced. Catherine picked up the drive, turned it over in her hands. If this is what you say it is, it's enough to bring RICO charges against Victor Reyes and at least 30 other members of your family's organization. What about immunity? For me and for them? Marcus gestured to us. I've drawn up paperwork. You'll all be given immunity from prosecution for any crimes related to this case, harboring a fugitive, failure to report, anything like that. In exchange, you'll testify when called upon. She slid documents across the table. We each signed. Then Catherine plugged the USB drive into her laptop and started reviewing the files. The more she saw, the more her expression hardened. This is extensive. This is years of work. A decade, Marcus corrected. I've been documenting everything since I left. Then you're either the bravest person I've ever met or the most foolish. Maybe both. Catherine closed the laptop. I'll need a few days to review everything thoroughly and coordinate with other agencies. FBI. Financial crimes. We're going to need a task force for this. But Marcus, if everything here checks out, Victor Reyes is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Along with everyone else involved? That's the goal. For the first time in days, Marcus actually smiled. We left the federal building feeling something like hope. Maybe this was actually going to work. Maybe we could actually have normal lives after this was over. We were halfway to the car when Vanessa screamed. I turned just in time to see a black SUV pull up to the curb. Doors opening. Men in suits, Victor's men, pouring out. And Victor himself, stepping out of the vehicle, gun in hand. Did you really think I didn't have people watching the federal building? He called out. Did you really think you could betray this family without consequences? Marcus shoved me behind him. Run. All of you. Get inside. Now. I'm not leaving you. Go. Gunfire erupted. Rachel returned fire, providing cover as we scrambled back toward the building entrance. But we were exposed. Caught in the open. One of Victor's men grabbed Olivia before Vanessa could react. The little girl screamed. No. Vanessa lunged for her, but another man knocked her down. Everything happened so fast. Marcus ran toward Victor, tackled him to the ground. They fought for the gun. Rachel took down 2 of Victor's men but caught a bullet in the shoulder. More gunfire. Someone screaming. Blood on concrete. And then, sirens. Police cars screeching to a halt. Officers pouring out, weapons drawn. FBI. Everyone on the ground. Now. Victor's men hesitated. Then dropped their weapons. But Victor didn't. He pushed Marcus off, grabbed Olivia, held the gun to her head. Everyone back off or the girl dies. Everything froze. Victor, don't. Marcus held up his hands. Please. She's just a child. She's innocent in all this. There are no innocents in this family. You should know that by now, Daniel. Let her go. Take me instead. That's what you want anyway, right? Me? What I want is for you to die knowing you destroyed everything. Your wife's life. This woman's daughter. All of it. Victor's finger moved to the trigger. Wait. I stepped forward. I'll stay. I'll do whatever you want. Just let her go. Victor's eyes shifted to me. Something in them changed, calculation, consideration. Elena, no, Marcus started. I'll go with you, I said to Victor. I'll sign whatever you want. Say whatever you want. Just let the little girl go. She doesn't deserve this. Elena, don't. It's the only way, Marcus. The moment stretched out. Victor looked at me. At Olivia. At the FBI agents surrounding us. Then he smiled, cold and cruel. You know what? Fine. The child for the wife. A fair trade. No deal. Marcus shouted, but Victor was already pushing Olivia toward Vanessa and grabbing me, pulling me against him, the gun now at my temple. Tell your friends to back off, Victor said to the FBI agents. Or she dies right here. The agents didn't move. Victor pressed the gun harder against my head. I'm not bluffing. Stand down, Catherine Morrison's voice came from behind the agents. Let him go. Ma'am, we can. I said stand down. That's an order. The agents reluctantly lowered their weapons, creating a path. Victor dragged me toward the SUV. Get in. Drive. I got into the driver's seat. He slid in beside me, gun still pointed at my head. Go. Now. I started the car and pulled away from the curb. In the rearview mirror, I saw Marcus trying to run after us, but agents held him back. We drove in silence for several blocks, Victor directing me through turns, moving us away from downtown. Where are we going? I finally asked. Somewhere private. Somewhere we can have a conversation without interruption. About what? About what you really want, Elena. Because I don't think you want to spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, wondering when my family will find you. Your family will be in prison. Some of them. Maybe. But not all. The reach of the Reyes family extends far beyond what even Daniel knows. Cut off one head, 3 more grow back. He smiled. You're a smart woman. You teach philosophy. You understand how the world really works. Power doesn't disappear. It just changes hands. So what are you offering? A way out. Real protection. Real security. All you have to do is testify that Daniel is unstable. Violent. That he's been manipulating you and Vanessa. That the evidence he gave the FBI is fabricated. Why would I do that? Because otherwise, you'll never be safe. Even if I go to prison, my associates will make sure you never know peace. You, Vanessa, that little girl, all of you will spend the rest of your lives in hiding. Is that really what you want? The question hung in the air. We pulled into an abandoned parking garage. Victor directed me to the top level, where there were no other cars. Stop here. I did. He got out, keeping the gun trained on me. Come on. Let's walk. We walked to the edge of the garage, where we could see the city spread out below us. Beautiful, isn't it? Victor said. All those people down there, living their little lives, never knowing the machinery that keeps everything running. The decisions made in boardrooms and back alleys that determine who thrives and who suffers. Is there a point to this? The point is that you have a choice. You can be one of the people crushed by that machinery, or you can be protected by it. All you have to do is choose the winning side. And you're the winning side? I'm the only side. Daniel is a dreamer. He thinks justice means something. He thinks one federal prosecutor and a USB drive full of evidence can bring down an empire. It's almost cute, really. You're wrong about him. Am I? Then why did he keep you in the dark for 8 years? Why did he build a secret life? Why did he document everyone around him like they were potential threats? Because you made him that way. Because you and your family turned him into someone who had to hide to survive. Or maybe that's just who he is. A coward. A liar. Someone who destroys everything he touches. Victor turned to face me fully. Think about it, Elena. 8 years of marriage to a man you didn't really know. 8 years of lies. And now you want to hitch your future to him? To spend the rest of your life in hiding, always looking over your shoulder? It's better than betraying him. Is it? Or is that just your pride talking? He stepped closer. I'm giving you a way out. Take it. Walk away from Daniel. Testify that he's unstable. And I'll make sure you're protected. You'll have money. Security. A real life. Not whatever half-existence he's been offering you. I looked out at the city below. At all those people living their lives. I thought about Marcus. About Vanessa and Olivia. About Catherine Morrison and her promise of justice. About Victor's offer, safety in exchange for betrayal. And I realized something. Victor was right about one thing. I did have a choice. But he was wrong about which choice I'd make. You know what your problem is, Victor? I said quietly. You think everyone is like you. You think everyone can be bought or threatened into submission. You think loyalty is just a matter of incentive. Isn't it? No. It's not. I turned to face him. Marcus lied to me. He kept secrets. He broke my trust in ways I'm still processing. But he did it because he was scared. Because he was trying to protect me. Maybe he did it wrong. Maybe he should have told me the truth from the beginning. But his intentions were never malicious. Yours are. Victor's expression hardened. So that's your answer? That's my answer. Then you're more foolish than I thought. He raised the gun. I closed my eyes, waiting for the shot. It didn't come. Instead, I heard a voice, "Drop the weapon." My eyes snapped open. FBI agents were pouring onto the parking garage level, weapons drawn, surrounding us. Victor's hand trembled. How? Catherine Morrison stepped forward. You really think we'd let you just drive away with a witness? We've been tracking the car since you left. We heard every word. Victor looked around, agents everywhere, no way out. It's over, Catherine said. Put down the gun, Victor. For a long moment, I thought he might shoot me anyway. Just out of spite. But then he lowered the weapon. Let it clatter to the ground. Agents rushed forward, tackled him, cuffed him. Catherine approached me. Are you all right? I nodded, though I was shaking so hard I could barely stand. You were very brave. And very stupid. But mostly brave. Is he really going to prison? With what we have? And with what he just said on tape, trying to coerce you into giving false testimony? He'll die in prison. The relief was overwhelming. 2 agents led Victor past me toward a waiting vehicle. He looked at me as he passed. This isn't over, he said quietly. The family is bigger than me. Bigger than any one person. You'll never be truly safe. Maybe not, I replied. But at least I'll be free. They took him away. Catherine drove me back to the federal building, where Marcus, Vanessa, Olivia, and Rachel were waiting. The moment Marcus saw me, he ran over, wrapped his arms around me so tightly I could barely breathe. I thought, when he took you, I thought. I'm okay. I'm okay. He pulled back, looking at me with tears in his eyes. You could have died. Because of me. Because of my family. But I didn't. It's over, Marcus. Victor's been arrested. It's finally over. Is it, though? Victor was right about one thing. The family is bigger than him. There are others. And Catherine is going after them too. With your evidence. With Victor's confession. It's going to take time, but they'll dismantle the entire organization. And until then? Until then, we're under federal protection. All of us. Catherine had explained it on the drive back. Safe houses. New identities if we wanted them. Protection until the trials were over. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't normal. But it was better than running forever. Vanessa joined us, holding Olivia close. So what now? What happens to us? Now, Catherine said, you all give formal statements. Then we set you up in protective custody until the trials begin. It'll probably be 6 months to a year before we're ready to prosecute. 6 months to a year? Vanessa's face fell. I know it's not ideal. But you'll be safe. And when it's over, you'll be able to live your lives without constantly looking over your shoulders. We spent the next week giving statements. Going through every document. Preparing for the trials that would eventually come. They moved us to a safe house in a small town 3 hours outside the city. It was quiet. Peaceful. Boring in the best possible way. Marcus and I were given separate rooms, but most nights I found myself in his, talking until dawn. Processing everything that had happened. Everything we'd learned about each other. I understand if you want a divorce, he said one night. After everything I put you through. I don't want a divorce. He looked startled. You don't? I want time. And honesty. And therapy, probably. A lot of therapy. I managed a small smile. But I don't want to lose you. Not after everything we've survived. Even though I lied? Even though you lied. Because I understand why now. I don't like it. I'm still angry about it. But I understand. I took his hand. We're going to have to rebuild our relationship from the ground up. Figure out who we are to each other without all the secrets. I'd like that. It's not going to be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. Vanessa and Marcus had to figure out their own arrangement, co-parenting Olivia, defining their relationship after years of secrecy and deception. It was awkward at first, but slowly they found a rhythm. Olivia adjusted surprisingly well. She finally learned the truth about Uncle Mark being her father, and after some tears and confusion, she seemed almost relieved to finally understand. 6 months passed. Then 8. Then 10. The trials began. One by one, members of the Reyes family and their associates were arrested, charged, convicted. Some took plea deals. Some fought to the bitter end. But they all went down. Marcus testified at 7 different trials. Each time, he walked into that courtroom, looked the people who'd terrorized him in the eyes, and told the truth. And each time, they were found guilty. Victor Reyes was convicted on 43 counts of racketeering, conspiracy to commit murder, money laundering, and more. He was sentenced to life without possibility of parole. When the verdict came down, Marcus cried. Not from joy. From relief. From the overwhelming sense that maybe, finally, he could stop running. We were released from protective custody 14 months after Victor's arrest. The federal task force had dismantled the Reyes organization completely. The few remaining members had scattered, gone into hiding themselves. Catherine told us we were safe now. Really safe. It was strange, that first day of freedom. We could go wherever we wanted. Be whoever we wanted. No more guards. No more safe houses. No more fear. Marcus and I decided to start fresh. Not in the city where everything had happened. Somewhere new. Somewhere quiet. We found a small house in a coastal town where nobody knew us. Where we could be just Elena and Marcus, 2 people trying to build a normal life. Vanessa and Olivia moved to a town nearby. Close enough to visit regularly, far enough to maintain their own lives. The 4 of us, 5, counting Rachel, who'd become a friend through everything, we became a strange, patchwork family. Bound not by blood, but by survival. It's been 2 years now since that letter arrived. 2 years since my life fell apart and rebuilt itself into something new. Marcus still has nightmares sometimes. I do too. We both go to therapy. We both work on trusting each other. It's not perfect. Some days are harder than others. But it's real. It's honest. And it's ours. I teach philosophy again, at a small college by the ocean. My students ask me about truth and reality and the nature of knowledge. I tell them the truth is complicated. That reality is often stranger than fiction. That knowledge comes with a cost. They think I'm being abstract. Theoretical. I'm really just speaking from experience. Marcus works as a consultant now, legitimate work, helping companies improve their security systems. He's good at it. All those years of paranoia taught him a lot about identifying vulnerabilities. Olivia is 10 now. She plays soccer and loves drawing and wants to be a veterinarian. She calls Marcus Dad now, without hesitation. Vanessa is studying nursing. She's dating someone, a teacher she met at Olivia's school. Someone kind and normal and uncomplicated. She deserves uncomplicated. We all do. Sometimes, late at night, I think about Victor's words, "You'll never be truly safe." Maybe he was right. Maybe there's always going to be some level of risk. Some possibility that the past will catch up with us. But I've learned something through all of this. Safety isn't about the absence of danger. It's about choosing who you face that danger with. It's about finding people worth fighting for. Worth surviving for. Marcus lied to me for years. He kept secrets that nearly destroyed us. But he also protected me. Loved me. Stayed with me through everything. And in the end, that's what matters. Not the lies we told. But the truth we found together. My name is Elena Torres. 2 years ago, my husband's past caught up with us. 2 years ago, I discovered he'd been living a double life. 2 years ago, I thought my marriage was over. But I was wrong. My marriage didn't end. It just transformed. became something different. Something harder. Something more real. And now, standing on the beach with Marcus, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and crimson, I finally feel something I haven't felt in a long time. Peace. Not perfect peace. Not complete peace. But enough peace to keep moving forward. To keep building this strange, complicated, beautiful life we've carved out of the ruins of everything that came before. Marcus takes my hand. What are you thinking about? The future. What do you see? I look at him, this man with 2 names and 1,000 secrets, this man who ran from his past and built a new life brick by careful brick. I see us, I say. Still standing. Still together. Still trying. He smiles. That's enough for me. Me too. And for the first time in 2 years, I mean it completely. The past may have been built on lies. But the future? The future is ours to write. Together. If you were in this situation, what would you do? Let me know in the comments, I read every single one. And please share this video so it can reach others who love stories full of suspense, drama, and emotion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story from Storytime Bravo.